Be safe out there. Let me shut this. Oh, there's might be some workers coming in to work on the ceiling over here.
Yeah, they've been here for the past couple of days, seem like. I want you to close that door, yeah.
Okay, let's say I'll close this and Charles wants me to leave it unlocked.
But
The door.
I only locked it because it was locked when I came in here.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, see you later.
Lost income through lower credit card transaction fees, expanded SNAP benefits, and exemptions from certain tariffs. Critics argue the plan could lead to food shortages, often address the causes of inflation, including supply chain issues. According to the University of Arkansas, over 28% of the state's schools with food. Grocery prices are up 30% since 2020, with a typical family now spending more than $1,000 a month at the market. President Donald Trump vowed to lower grocery prices during his second term in office, but McGraw says expanded tariff and immigration policies, along with cuts to public safety net programs, increased costs and created foreign labor shortages. He says the president could help secure labor legislative reforms for the American family.
If the country's being to the buildings with certain views under the air, it's certainly affected by the language.
Creating staple plans along with corporate reform to make the food system more resilient. Could save a family of four an average of $134 a year. Arkansas News Service. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
Big changes are coming to food stamps and Medicaid. Benefits are being cut. Access is getting harder. Need help? 646 444 6404. We're online at benefitsrecipients.org. 646 494 6403 or benefitsrecipients.org. Let's work out now. You're out. You do it right.
When history repeats itself, so this can. Since 1945, when the original care package inspired the spirit of shared humanity around the world, care has healed in family, pandemics, and natural disasters, but we've also seen our
Yes, we're coming in hot this morning with Mavis Staples. I like the things about me. You heard a different song, so that must mean something different is happening today. That's right. It's the Reverend Doctor. You can call me Denise, rolling solo this morning. And so I'm so glad that you have tuned into the workplace right here at KABF 88.3 FM, where we are the voice of the people. Your co-host is out today. He already announced that he has an aunt in Chicago who made a transition, who passed away, who died, whatever your language is that celebrates the moving forward of life, the next season of life. And so he and his family are traveling right now. They should be traveling right now, headed to Chicago. And I don't know when he'll be back. He might be back Tuesday. I'm not really sure. But for those of you who believe in some form of prayer, some form of meditation, some form of centering yourself so that you can, some form of holding sacred space, and it would be great for you to do that for his aunt. And so, yes, it's me with the workplace, and I got a whole bunch of announcements that I need to make. But first, I want to say, especially since we are in Pledge Drive, I want to make sure that you know how much we appreciate you. We don't just appreciate you during Pledge Drive. We appreciate you all day, every day. And one of the ways that you can feel that appreciation is how you can turn on your radio, 88.3 FM. You can stream it from whatever platform, from all around the world. You can tune in and hear us bringing some kind of education, some kind of information, some kind of, even if it's through music. We are, I don't, well, let me talk about me. I'm intentional about the songs that I choose. And so we cannot, we would not, we will not be able to continue if it's not for you showing up in all of the different ways that you do. And so for that, we are ever grateful. And I want you to know that. Hotep is already on the line. I see you wishing us life, prosperity, and health. I do have a whole lot of announcements, y'all. It's a whole lot of them. It's a whole lot of them, y'all. But I have to make these announcements. So let me start with a couple of them let me say this while I'm making sure I have everything. There is an emerging artists application process happening at the Arkansas Museum of Fine Arts right now. If you go onto their website and you just type in, you search for emerging artists, you will see the application process. No matter where you are in the world, you can use this online link to apply for this exhibit. So the exhibit is going to happen in September. It's September 11th through the 13th. And so they're calling all of us who believe and know and feel in our spirits that we have a message to send through our creative, our creative vehicle of art, through canvas and paint and mixed media and all of the things that we use. And so that is happening right now. I think the applications, they're going to stop taking applications in May, I think. I'm not really sure, but I want jump on it now. I was there yesterday. And I stumbled up on it because people were talking, there was a line where there isn't usually a line. And so I asked the lady, what they doing? What are they doing over there? And that's how I found out. And so I want to make sure that I let you know that all of you who believe yourselves to be emerging artists, this is a huge opportunity for us. So I want to make sure I announce that. Pulaski County voters are reminded of important upcoming election deadlines. February 27th, which is tomorrow, is the deadline to request and return an absentee ballot in person or by a designated bearer by 5 p.m. Election day is Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. Polls will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Voters must cast their ballot at their designated polling location. Pulaski County has 96 polling sites. To find your polling place, view sample ballots or check your voter registration at registration at voterview.ar-nova.org. To find your polling place or view sample ballots or check your voter registration, visit voterview, voterview.ar-nova.org. For more information, contact Pulaski County Voter Registration at 501-340-8336. For more information, contact Pulaski County Voter Registration at 501-340-8336 or visit pulaskiclerkar.gov. PULASKICLERKAR.gov. The Arkansas State Claims Commission will hold hearings on February 27th, that's tomorrow, beginning at 9 o'clock. And February 20th, wait a minute. The Arkansas State Claims Commission will hold hearings February 27th, 2026, beginning at 9 a.m. each day. And the February 27th hearings will be held in person at the commission offices. To obtain the Zoom invitation for the hearings, please contact Sabrina Hike at 501-682-1619. See, this is what happens when you don't read the announcement first, because it says that it's going to be held in person, but I guess it's a hybrid. I guess it's a hybrid. So you can come in person, but you can also find this link. Yeah, so it sounds like it's a hybrid. So whether you're at home or whether you can show up in person, you will be able to attend this hearing. If there are questions, please contact the commission office at 501-682-1619. Again, that's the Arkansas State Claims Commission holding a hearing tomorrow, February 27th, beginning at 9 o'clock a.m. Hello, Jacksonville. The JNPSD Parent Action Coalition invites parents and community members to a community outreach meeting on Saturday, February 28th at 3 p.m. at Landmark Baptist Church, 2200 Marshall Road. This event connects families with valuable information and local resources supporting student well-being, safety, and education. Guest speakers include the Kids Count Coalition, Victim Rights Advocates, the Arkansas Special Education Mediation Project, and a special presentation by the Reform Alliance. Community partners will be on site with resource tables, plus refreshments and door prizes. All parents and community members are welcome. That's Saturday, February 28th at 3 p.m. at Landmark Baptist Church, 2200 Marshall Road in Jacksonville. Tell the story. Literary series, monthly literary series celebrating African American literature through community conversations, readings, and book signings. Saturday, February 28th, 2026, 4:30 CST, Central Standard Time, Toni Morrison's Literary Legacy. Dr. Dana Williams, author, Tony at Random, The Iconic Writer's Legendary Editorship. That's the title of the book that Dr. Dana Williams wrote. Tony at Random, The Iconic Writer's Legendary Editorship. She's the professor of African American literature at Howard University and the 2026 NAACP Image Award nominee for Outstanding Literary Work. Brief introduction to the Furious Flowers Syllabus Project, opening the world of Black poetry. The location will be Pyramid Art Books and Custom Framing at 1001 Wright Avenue, 72206. Again, that's the monthly literary series celebrating African American literature this Saturday with Dr. Dana Williams on the book Tony at Random, The Iconic Writer's Legendary Editorship at Pyramid Art Books and Custom Framing. Hey everyone, here's something happening in North Little Rock you might want to check out. The University of Arkansas Pulaski Technical College Center for Humanities and Arts is presenting country artist and songwriter Keith Anderson as part of the Charts live performance series. Keith Anderson will perform Saturday, February 28th at 7:30 p.m. at the Charts Theater located at 3000 West Scenic Drive in North Little Rock. You may know his songs like Picking Wildflowers and Every Time I Hear Your Name. He's also written music recorded by artists including Garth Brooks, George Jones, and Big and Rich. Dinner prepared by UAPTC culinary arts students will be available for the show. You can find tickets and more information at uaptc.edu/charts or by calling 501-812-2831. Hey family, quick community note for you. The Central Arkansas Library System and the North Little Rock Public Library System are getting ready for the 2026 Rock Paper Run 5K, which will take place during National Library Week. It's a fun run and walk for all experience levels, going down Sunday, April 19th, starting and finishing at the Argenta Library, 420 Main Street in North Little Rock. The route travels through North Little Rock and downtown Little Rock along the river. This event supports library programs and services across our community, and folks are even encouraged to show up dressed as their favorite book characters. More details are available online at rockpaperrun.org. That's the Rock Paper Run 5K with CALS and NLRPLS supporting libraries, literacy, and community. More event listings are available at cals.org. This is a community announcement for published authors. An upcoming book signing event is being organized to highlight and feature the work of authors and storytellers. The event aims to offer authors a platform to share their published works, gain exposure, meet new readers, grow their brand, and connect with the community. Information about participation is available by contacting Jody Love at area code 501-940-0143 or 501-295-6936. Email inquiries may be sent to wedream22@yahoo.com. This event focuses on recognizing and uplifting voices and stories within the community. Space for participation Space for participating authors is limited. Free CD giveaway at KABF 88.3 FM. Attention, music lovers. We're clearing out our collection and giving away free CDs in a variety of genres, including jazz, country, rock, world, movie soundtracks, compilations, and more. Find your next favorite album and build your music collection. CDs are available for pickup Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 2101 South Main Street, Little Rock, Arkansas. Spread the word and stop by to grab some treasures while supplies last. It's first come, first served, so don't miss out. Support and donate to KABF 88.3 FM. There has been a deliberate attempt to silence us about the erasure of Black lives. Their names have not been lifted up in spaces and their lives have not been honored. It's up to us to say their names and bring them with us into every space. Bring your grief, flowers, music, candles, sage, posters, drums, and other musical instruments, songs, and pictures of our loved ones. We don't need to shelter in place. Now more than ever, we need to fortify ourselves as a people in community and care for each other. Come speak their names and stand in solidarity on March the 1st at MacArthur Park, 2 p.m. by the Foster Pavilion. Support for KABF 88.3 FM comes from listeners and community partners. If you're a business owner or planning an event and would like information on how it can be announced on KABF, contact our office at 501-372-6119. That's 501-372-6119. Oh, listen, I gotta do something to soothe this voice right now. These are your morning announcements. Let us govern ourselves accordingly. I chose the song by Mavis Staples, Things I Like About Me, because most of the time when we are on any show that I am on, whether it's Community Voices or the workplace, one of the things we always come back to is the absolute necessity, the imperative that we have to make sure that we know who we are as ourselves. And this is a conversation I talk about on Tuesdays, that the conversation that we have on Tuesdays, we center it in Blackness, but it's a conversation about the human story. So whoever you are as human, it is important that we know who we are. It's important we know how we move, but it's more important to know the why behind it. Because once you can name the why behind it, you can decide whether or not you need to do something about it. Many of us right now, we're doing stuff and we don't even know why. And I know I'm telling the truth about it because I challenge people all the time. When you say something to me, I will ask you, oh, okay, what makes you say that? And you'll say something, blah, blah, blah. Then I'll say, oh, okay, well, where did that come from? And by the time, before you know it, you get stuck. Because the first couple of questions that I'm asking, you can consider them brochure questions. You know, those questions, brochure answers. Those questions that sound pretty, they flow poetically out of your mouth. And so it's something that you've pretty much rehearsed. But as I dig deeper, then we realize, like, you really ain't got no foundation for this, do you? Now, I don't say that. I don't have to say that because you start feeling it in the conversation. And that's what I need you to do. Feel that you don't know what you're talking about. Because you have taken on somebody else's information, somebody else's education, somebody else's narrative. You have just infused it into your life without even thinking about it. And sometimes it happens through osmosis because you're watching TV and you see it subliminally. You're listening to music and you hear it subliminally. You're talking to your friends and they say it subliminally. And so all of this is happening beneath the level of consciousness. So unless somebody is willing to raise it to your level of consciousness, then you don't know you're doing it. And so that is important for us. And so when I'm listening to Mavis Staples and she's telling this story about her life, she's like, you know what? Wait a minute. One day I looked in the mirror at myself. And you know what? Some of us got a problem even looking in the mirror. This world has dogged us so much with these fake beauty standards and these fake standards about body weight and body shape and body type and these fake narratives that you need to do something with your eyelashes and your nails and your toes and all of this stuff that they keep cramming down our throats about how to alter our images so that we can please somebody else's gaze. We have gotten caught up in it. And so Mavis Staples says, you know what? One day I looked at myself in the mirror and I saw a whole new version of myself. She saw herself naked and unashamed. When I say naked, I'm talking about like no makeup, no hair extensions, no eyelashes, no bleach cleaners, no what you call it, the cream to light up your face, light up your skin. None of that. She just looked in the mirror and said, you know what? Now that I see me the way I was created to be, I like myself. Wait a minute. Let me stand here a few more minutes. Let me just stand here and take note of what I see. If Mavis, I don't really know how Mavis Staples looks other than the pictures that I've seen. So I can't tell you what she saw when she looked in the mirror. But when I look in the mirror, I got some beautiful eyes, y'all. I got a thick little nose. It's a thick old nose. Make you want to do them Eskimo kisses on it. You know how me and my daddy used to do that? We put our nose against each other and then turn our head side to side, little Eskimo kisses. And I got some thick old luscious lips. And I have a permanent lip line. I don't need no lip liner at all. You could already see it. It's all, you can see it. And my skin glows all the time, and I don't wear any makeup at all. Now, I do use some Noxzema in the shower, and I do use some eczema cream when I'm beautifying myself. That's what I call it, beautifying myself. When I come out the shower and I start lotioning up and I start putting on making sure I got cream on my feet, my arms. You know, that's what I call it. I'm beautifying myself. And so I wonder what you would say. We got somebody in the house today. RL Dunn, I see you. You come on Tuesday nights too. Hey, thanks for being present with us today. Oh, that reminds me to tell you that the phone lines are open right here at 501-433-0088. The phone lines are open 501-433-0088. And so Mavis Staples had to get to this point in her life where she said, I had to first of all name that I had an issue with me. Because I used to wish, this is what she says, I used to wish that my lips were thinner. That's what she said. I used to wish that what I was putting on the outside made me feel better about who I was on the inside. I was looking at these external things that I could do to make me feel better about myself. But one day I looked in the mirror and I said, you know what? Skip all that stuff. I like what I see. I like the things that I see about myself. And she said, I done reached the point. Look, it's actually, she really went to her soul language. She says, I've done reached the point. I have done reached the point where I want to be real instead of living in some disguise. Caller, you're live on the air, KABF 88.3. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, hello?
I'm here.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can.
I would like to, maybe you can help me out with something that I kind of have a problem with. I understand we need to know our history as best far back as we possibly can go. But it is more important to dwell with the past than keep the past and organize it for what we need to do now, which is more important. And thank you.
Okay, I think the caller is asking us which is more important. I have an answer for that, but first let me get Low. Low's on the line too. A tignon is a headscarf or headdress worn by free and enslaved women of African descent in Louisiana, mandated by a 1786 Spanish colonial law, the Tignon Laws, to hide their hair and enforce social hierarchy. Originally intended to shame, Black women repurposed them as fashion statements with jewels, feathers, and elaborate styling. Okay, so that's a bit of information tidbit for us to think about. Okay, so let me go back to the caller, and then I'll say something about hotel. I'm like when you get those automated voicemails, and it says we will answer the call in the order in which it was received. So the question from the caller is, what's more important for us to dwell on where we have been in the past, or for us to focus on what we need to do in the now? What is more important? And so for me, it's a both and. There's a saying that says if you don't understand the past, then you are doomed to repeat it. Something to that effect. That's a paraphrase. So we cannot even begin to know where we are going if we don't know who we are. And in this country, particularly those of us who are melanated, and especially those of us called Black and even identify as Black, we have to do the work of finding out who we are, because like Mavis Staples said, I am just now realizing who I am because I've been caught up in, even though she was complicit, sometimes our complicity is unconscious. Even though I've been caught up in it. So I thought I knew who I was because I thought what they said about me was true. And so especially for those of us who are melanated, rich melanin in our blood, we got to do that work. So we have to go there. And once we know who we are, and once we understand who we are, especially as Black folks, then we understand our power. Now that brings me to what Lo said. Because one thing about Black folks is that we are creative, we are innovative, we can do, we can repurpose anything. Caller, you're live on the air, KBF at 8.3.
Good morning, Sister Denise.
Good morning.
Listeners and those on the web. I would just like to say that in addition to us having these beautiful qualities that for whatever reasons were suppressed, if you will, in an effort to make the works and the ideas of the oppressors successful, like telling us we were ugly and then treating us like we were ugly, enforcing everything that would make us feel and shame, shackling us, giving us the worst of things to eat, no clothing, if you will, nothing to put on our feet during slavery, hundreds of years of this degradation. And then come the 50s where we rose up to a level in this country. Many folks don't know anything about it, so for whatever reason, they don't refer back to that time in our life when things were so deplorable that we marched by the thousands to try to change things in this country. And we were successful. And how do I know we were successful? Because I was there. I can't help it if folks weren't born and weren't around during that period of time. But it was a successful effort by thousands and thousands of people, black and white in this country, that started during the John Brown, if you will, efforts to make his country a better place to live and free the slaves and be more of a Christian nation that they claimed they were. He was killed and executed in an effort to free the slaves, and the very persons that arrested him and tried him went on to lead the South, if you will, in their efforts to keep slavery and those efforts, Robert Lee and all those different people who were instrumental in capturing John Brown, the abolitionist. Well, fast forward to the time when Alabama and Mississippi and the Deep South were using water hose and dogs and men on horseback to run over people who were trying to vote, who were trying to do away with the Jim Crow laws. They wouldn't let you use the restroom in public places. They wouldn't let you ride on the bus. You'd have to stand up. How can you sit down and a white man is standing? Get up right at that seat, even though you paid the fare to get on the bus. All of these were laws that had to be changed, and they were, thank God. And a lot of this was due to the efforts of a lot of people who marched, and this was before they had the right to vote now. So now we fast forward to a time when we can vote, and it might not change something overnight, but it's definitely something that the oppressors and those that the white supremacists don't want us to do, because they use water holes, billy clubs, all kind of laws and injunctions to keep us from doing the things that we wanted to do in order to vote. And they were successful because they passed laws, Jim Crow laws, to keep us from voting. And these laws had to be overturned by Supreme Court decisions. And for that reason, I said we owe a lot to attorneys, if you will, who fought these laws tooth and nail. That's why I say Thurgood Marshall is one of the most unsung heroes in the history of Black America. You don't never hear. They don't want you to know about Thurgood Marshall, but they want us to know about Clarence Thomas. No one really cares anything about it. But I said I'd like to say this. We have an obligation to vote, because if people just know that the future is the past and through a different door, to piggyback on what you just got to say. The future is the past entered through a different door. And we will repeat in many ways the agony and suffering that our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents suffered if we don't exercise our rights to at least try to attain the methods to change our communities, make our lives better, make our lives for our children and grandchildren better. We have lost a sense of community, and that needs to be enforced, if you will. We need to be more respectful of our elders. We need to be more respectful of those who sacrifice for us to have the things that we take for granted today. And if a person thinks that the vote is not important, then that person is actually a tool of the oppressor or the supremacist, willingly or unwillingly. But that person is a tool, because to say that that vote is not important is to close your eyes to reality. If it's not important, why were people on horseback? Why were people with fire hoses? And I'm talking about so-called first responders, the people that we say we love our firemen. Our firemen and our police used to wash our bodies down streets with fire hoses that were so powerful that it take the bark off a tree. Now, to say all that, I just like to say that voting is so important that people killed our leaders who were trying to get the vote. We don't talk about that. We take that for granted since we go around sitting like it's nothing to it except well, I got a gun, that's what I'm supposed to do is kill somebody. Our forefathers, the people in your home state of Mississippi, they used to lynch black people from left to right for trying to vote. If it's not important, then they weren't lynching all the black folks. If you was out there in the field, chopping the cotton, or out there in the woods, tearing down the trees, doing the work on the land, they didn't try to kill you, but they tried to kill you, and I'm talking about black folks, if you attempted to vote. So that's how important it is. And as I mentioned, and you mentioned using different words, the future is the past in us through a different door. And it's so important now that it's even more important because folks are using all kind of methods to keep black people, particularly since this is Black Central Show, from voting and exercising the right that we have. And that's the only thing I'm saying. If you got the right to vote, then use it. If you're able to vote, then vote. That's all I got to say about it. And hopefully somebody will go along with what I'm saying because I know I'm right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ezekiel. And then there's Lowe says, I think this is in response to the caller, should we focus on the past or focus more on the present? Lowe says, you don't dwell on the past, but learn from it. And that's that spirit of Sankofa. Look back and take from the past those things that you can modify to work now in our present. I want you all to hear this clip from Dr. John Henrik Clarke. Africans and the Making of America from 1619 to 1776. This is a lecture that he presented. And first of all, let me just say again, to those of you who are always sending me something to think about, something to research, some song you want me to play, some podcast, TikTok, call me on the phone, like all of the ways that you feed into me so that I can learn more and grow more and then share with you on this platform. I really appreciate it. And I hope you know that I don't take it like I look at everything you send me. Sometimes though, it takes me a while to get to it because I am a nerd and I am a geek and I am okay about that. So I want to listen. You give me something to research, I want to go down every rabbit hole. I want to connect every dot. I want to read every word. I want to listen to every conversation. And so it takes me a minute sometimes to get around to actually responding to what you sent me. But I want you to know that I don't take that lightly at all. And that's another reason that I only come out the house on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, because the rest of the time I'm working. But I want you all to listen to this. Thank you to the loyal listener who sent this to me. And then we'll pick up the conversation after he finishes.
I decided that I would do something exceptional in December. I would lecture on the African in ancient history. So I go to this white man and put my heart that I have been gardens for a long time. And that's all book on the African ancient history. And the phraseology of the South of that day, a black person is not new to you. They said, when these times, he let me down slow. He told me, I'm sorry, John, you came for people that have no history. And I began to search for history. this is the main point I'm leading to it, that when I came to New York and met Uncle somebody and wanted to know the whole history of my people, of the teenager dance, and teenagers do things like this. On this lunch hour, henceforth, the hour, I want to Chairman Holstow. So he patiently told me to sit down. And he said, son, go study the history of your masters. What you call black history, what you call African history, are the missing pages of their own history. Now began to study European history. I began to understand how African history was misplaced in the history of the world. And the one thing that I learned, you cannot oppress a historical people. And once a people understand the nature of their role in history, they will not permit themselves to be oppressed. In order to oppress you, people must remove you from the respectful commentary of history. They must destroy your confidence in historical memory. The memory of what you was, so that you can be confused about what you are, and not confused about what you still must be and what you still must go. In essence, this is what happened to us. In the 15th and the 16th century. All right.
I think that Dr. Clark pretty much answers the question, right? That we have to spend some time in the past. Because we are that Black folks are that historical people that he's talking about. That's what Africans, all members of the African diaspora. We are the ones who have been misplaced in this country. So we are the ones who are now confused about who we are, what we're supposed to be doing, and where we're going. We don't know the answers to those questions because we don't know who we are. And to Ezekiel's point, that's by design. It has been done by design. And now here we are, those of us, I don't even know, I just call it, this is how I feel like I experience God. Tuesday on the show, I talked about, I said something about Black History Month. And I said, I had been talking about it in my head. I talk to myself all the time. I had been talking about, whether or not to say something about Black History Month, because every day is Black History. Like, I was having this whole debate in my head. And I started reading about Carter G. Woodson, and I'm like, wait a minute. See, I'm over here Black History Month don't mean too much to me. Because y'all done watered it down to all it is Dr. King saying, I have a dream, and Rosa Parks, she was too tired to get up. And both of those have been misinterpreted and corrupted and used for evil. So I don't even want to have nothing to do with it. That's what I was thinking in my head. But when I was reading about Dr. Woodson, Carter Godwin Woodson, and he talked about the reason why he started Negro History Week, because that's how Black History Month started, as Negro History Week. The reason he started it because he realized that he's operating in a world that intentionally suppresses, intentionally overlooks, intentionally denies the contributions of Black folks. So somebody has to create a different system so that these things that we ought to think on, those of you who love the Bible, like I said, don't throw away the Bible, learn how to work that Bible. The Bible says, think on these things, whatever is good, whatever is pure, whatever is of good report, think on these things. And so Dr. Woodson is saying, these are the things you need to think on. If you want to be holy, if you want to understand that you are sacred, if you want to know when to take off your shoes because you are on holy ground, it's when Mavis Staples says, take off your shoes in front of the mirror because you're standing on holy ground. Look at yourself and see God. So we cannot afford to say, I ain't got to spend no time in the past. But we also can't stay there because we are the one. Because sometimes I think I will be forever grateful for this woman named Chris. I called her Chris. That's not her name, but I called her that. She taught me how to not be scared of my ancestors. I will be forever indebted to her for that. And so sometimes I'll be in my house and I'll be on the floor in the kitchen doing some art. And I'll hear something in the back room in my office. And at first, I used to get scared. Like when I first moved into the house, I was like, oh my God, what is this? And I'm walking around with my bat. This is before I got a gun. I got a bat because look, I got enough rage in me. I'll beat you to death. I don't need no gun. That's how I felt. But now, it took me a minute. I'm like, you know what? There ain't nobody my ancestors. So I get up off the floor. I go back there and I open the door and I say, listen, I'm glad y'all showed up today because y'all know I love it when y'all come, but I'm gonna need y'all to keep this noise down. I'm gonna need whatever y'all doing, stop making all this noise. I'm over here trying to work. And so we have to be, I feel like sometimes our ancestors are saying, wait a minute, we did all of this for y'all to do what y'all doing now? Back to Ezekiel's point. You mean to tell me we done suffered, bled, and died? We done been whipped. We done committed. We have self-transitioned by jumping off the boat because we don't know what's about to happen. I'd rather take my own fate into my own hands because that's how powerful I am. I got the last say over this body. Those of you, they did all this. They made it through slavery. They did all this. They watched their children be stripped from their womb, and they're supposed to be singing so the white people don't feel so bad about what they're doing with them on the auction block. They have raped and slaughtered our men, our women. They have lynched our children. They have done all of these things, and you around here talking about, I ain't gonna vote because it don't mean that. And I said this the other day, if for no other reason at all, your vote is in honor of your ancestors. To remind yourself that if there was once a time. And so I feel privileged and honored to bring you into this room with me, my ancestors. I want you to feel it through me, what it's like to cast this vote. I want you to experience it because I'm carrying you in my cell, so I know you are here. Let's walk boldly to this polling place. Let's stand in this line. Hopefully it's a long line. And let's just wait. We ain't tired. We ain't rushed. We ain't complaining. We just waiting to be able to let you feel through us what you worked hard for us to do that I will never take for granted. If for no other reason you should vote, especially Black folks. Here's low. Miss Denise, I am with you. Black History Month only deals with the time period of slavery to the Civil Rights era. Ancient history reveals what kind of people we are and for us to regain our liberation. I am with you. Black History Month only deals with the time period of slavery to the Civil Rights era. Ancient history reveals what kind of people we are and for us to regain our liberation. Regain our liberation. So what Dr. Clark is saying is that you gotta go back to the ancient history because based on what Lo just said, this world teaches you that you started here as a slave. They teach you that was your beginning, that you ain't nothing but a slave. It's the same language they use in the Bible. This is why I'm trying to get you to be careful with the Bible. It's the same language. You ain't nothing but a sinner. You ain't nothing but a slave. You're gonna be a sinner to the day you die. You're gonna be a slave to the day you die. All of that is the same in principle. I'm gonna control your body for my benefit. And so you ain't never been nothing. So what makes you think you're gonna be something now? And when we keep seeing all these iterations of them erasing, that's what Don was just talking about. Don Jeffrey sent that announcement about what's gonna happen in MacArthur Park at the pavilion. We're gonna sit together and we're gonna call the names because this world keeps trying to remind you that you ain't nothing. You ain't never been nothing but a slave. And because we won't go back further than that, we don't understand that we have always been more than slaves, enslaved people. First of all, we need to stop calling ourselves slaves. We were enslaved. And so we have to go back. It's imperative that we go back. We got to take a look at ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves the why. I did a presentation not too long ago. It was in January for the Women's Leadership Academy. It was in Conway. Yeah, because I missed the show. I was gone. I missed the show that day. I don't know. But one of the, I was asking a question. One of the questions I asked, the people had to, the women, it's all women, and they had to answer a question about looking at themselves. And what do you see? That's what I asked him. What do you see when you look at yourself? And so one of the answers, this was all anonymous, so I don't know who wrote it. One of the answers was, I see a lot of effort. But why? That's what it said. I see a whole lot of effort. But why? And so a couple of the sticky notes I kept because I was like, we need to touch on this. And that was one of the ones I held up. Let's talk about this. Why are you putting forth so much effort just to walk out the door? Why are you putting forth so much effort to make sure somebody else is happy with what? And this is not even what you want to do. You just feel like you gotta do it. Why? I want to give you all some information because the time is the time is winding down. Give you some more information. So I need to let you know this. I'm just trying to find it in all of these. Okay. You need to know who oh my goodness, the 2026 Black candidates on the ballot. The 2026 Black candidates on the ballot. In the federal realm, you have Ethan Dunbar and Chris Jones. On a statewide level, you have State Senator Fred Love, Representative Jesse Magruder, Jason Williams, and in the state Senate, you have Charity Smith Allen, Sharonda Love, and Representative Tara Shepard. State House of Representatives, Representative Joy Springer, Representative Jay Richardson, Representative Lincoln Barnett, Representative Ken Ferguson, Representative Glenn Barnes, Representative Denise Ennett, Stephen Pearson, Michael Mason. Let me keep going. Audrey Willis, Demetrius Johnson, Joyce Ann Gray, Sherry Holloman, Willie Williams, Gina Thomas Littlejohn, Angela Person West, Takesha Dokes. Cordelia Smith Johnson, Cassandra Mays, Dexter Miller, Deanna Morgan, Michael Middlebrook, Shamal C. Carter, Beverly Coleman Kim. And then on the judicial level, you have Judge Tawana Bird Manning, Judge Shanice Johnson, Judge Carlton D. Jones, Judge Ernest E. Brown Jr., Colby Harper, Bobby Forrest Jr., Evelyn Moorhead, Caris Manning, that looks like Center, Mersha King. Those are the 2026 Black candidates on the ballot. Now, here's an Arkansas Democrats for a ballot for you to consider. For all Arkansas Democrats, a ballot for you to consider. Senator Fred Love for governor, Sufa Mays for governor, Kelly Grapp for Secretary of State, Hallie Schaffner for U.S. Senate, Mayor Ethan Dunn for U.S. Senate, Dr. Terry Green, U.S. Congress District 1, Dr. Chris Jones, U.S. Congress District 2, Zach Huffman, U.S. Congress District 2, Rob Ryers, U.S. Congress District 3, Steve O'Donnell, U.S. Congress District 4, James Russ Russell, U.S. Congress District 4. Now, that's all the information that I have for you on that. If you send me a Republican ballot, I'll announce that too. KABF is nonpartisan. Plus, all Black people ain't Democrats. So I'm giving you the information that I have, the information that is provided for me, the information that's sent to me. That's what I offer up. So I'm not opposed to whatever it is you all want to know, because you got to make an educated vote and learn how to stop voting against yourself. And so the question becomes, again, the why. When you look at yourself and you examine yourself, first of all, the Bible will work for you if you learn how to work it. One of the psalmists says, examine yourself in the Lord. Examine yourself doesn't mean let the Lord tell you all the stuff you're doing wrong, because that's how we interpret stuff in this Western. And it makes sense that even our Jesus is punitive. I have some crosses I have a cross collection. I ain't never set out to collect no crosses, never ever. But when I was a pulpit pastor in Gulfport, I lived in the parsonage. One day I was cleaning out the parsonage and I ran across some crosses that I didn't even know I had. And so I said, oh, let me go put these on the wall. So I had an office. So I just put the crosses on the wall in the office. People would come into my office for whatever reason, and they would see the crosses. And for whatever reason, they would say, oh, she likes crosses. Next time I do something for her, I'm going to bring her a cross. Okay. People would go out of town, go out of the country, go out of town, go. They would come back and say, Denise, because this was most of the time when I'm serving a white church, we don't mind using first name. Denise, I just got back from Australia. I just got back from Jerusalem. And they would give me a cross. Okay, no problem. So I ended up with a cross collection. I put some of the crosses back up. I took them all down one day, then I put some of them back up. Then I had a guest come in the house. Wherever she walked, she saw a cross. Because again, it's a whole collection. It's a whole collection. And she said to me, you know, these crosses make me feel like I'm being condemned. I'm not sure how I feel about these crosses. I feel condemned. In every space, you got them in every space. Everywhere I go in your house, I feel condemned. And I said, you know what? Shame on us that the cross will make you feel condemned. That's because that's how we preach it in the westernized way of Christianity, which is powered by white people. It's powered. It is by design. Even Jesus don't think you nothing. And every time you see Jesus, he come to tell you what you're doing wrong. Every time he comes trying to tell you how you need to be more faithful. You need to give more money. Yeah, this is the way we get preached to all the time. You walk out feeling like, oh, if it wasn't for Jesus, I got to have. Instead of saying, when the scripture says, examine yourself in the Lord, a better understanding of it is this. I want you to sit with yourself and see yourself through the Lord's eyes. The Lord that you came to, not the Lord that you learned about in Sunday school, not the Lord that you learned about at church, not the Lord that something happened in your life that made you say, I got to do something different. And you decided to go look for Jesus. And Jesus showed up for you in that moment. Jesus decided, according to your story, because I done heard the story, according to your story, Jesus decided to save you, to deliver you, to rescue you. And in that moment, you realized that Jesus saw that you were worthy of being rescued, worthy of being delivered, worthy of his time with you. Look at the Jesus, let Jesus, that Jesus, look at you and tell you what he sees. When you look in the mirror, let that Jesus say, I see that you were fearfully and wonderfully made. I see that you were made by love, in love, and for love. I see that you are me. I reckon every head on your head is counted. And there is nothing that you could ever do that would separate me from you. That's how much I love you so much. As a matter of fact, all these sins they talking about, I loved you so much that I sent somebody to be the ultimate offering so that you would never have to worry about sinning anymore. Let that Lord help you examine yourself. I would love it if y'all do it and tell somebody what you see. I hope it's different from what you saw this morning when you woke up. That's community. You've been listening to The Workplace right here, KABF 88.3 FM, where we are the voice of the people. We have got, I want to leave us with a song. I know we've got the 10 o'clock hour, but I want to leave us with a song. And this is for Virgil Miller. Now, I ain't talked to Black Men Politician in a long time. We be texting sometimes, but I haven't talked to him in a long time. But one of the songs that I know made a difference in his life, I want to play it as I am in remembrance of him. and I'm saying it like he did. He ain't dead, y'all. I'm just talking about, let me play it because I'm remembering him in this moment. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Don't touch that dial. We've got more and more and more and more of KABF 88.3 coming up for you for the next 24 hours, and the next 7 days. Stay right here. We'll see you next week.